Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, if you go to the star right now, the star portal, there's a story there that MP ONG'ONDO's bodyguard and driver arrested. And we are told that the two were detained by detectives handling the matter after they gave inconsistent statements on what they knew or did not know about the murder. So, based on the story that is surfacing, is that they were arrested. According to the DCI, they are persons of interest in the case. Because, again, the DCI is trying to ascertain why the two were not hurt when a gunman opened fire at a traffic jam in Nairobi, whereby the MP was killed. Now, you already know that the DCI is doing the best it can, or the police is doing the best they can to unravel this mystery. How comes the two were not hurt? Now, based on this story, ladies and gentlemen, the focus shifted to the bodyguard and the focus shifted to the driver. More so the bodyguard, because based on this story, if you take a keen analysis on the whole situation, then you understand that the shooter unleashed 5 bullets. The first bullet, according to the story, broke the window. The remaining bullets were lodged on MP ONG'ONDO's body. So all this time, the MP's bodyguard had not cocked his gun. All this time, the MP alikuwa ametulia pale nyuma ya huyu bodyguard. All this time. Again, if you look at the distance between where the shooter stood when unleashing all these bullets to the waiting motorcycle, because we are told that he fled using a waiting motorcycle, meaning there was a rider who was waiting for him. This distance, again, the bodyguard could not fire any bullet. You know, we are trying to look at this report from the DCI, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just stay with me on this. And according to the MP's armed bodyguard, who was in the back seat during the ambush, he said that this all drama took place within just seconds, you know, and to a level whereby he could not realize what had happened. And he went further to say, by then, the gunman and his accomplice had fled the scene. What that means is that by the time he came to his senses, yule muuaji alikuwa shakimbia kutumia ile motorcycle.
Hiki ni kifo cha pili ambapo tunaona kwamba mbunge anauawa ndani ya gari na walinzi wake wakiwa, na wengine waliuawa pamoja na walinzi wake. Tunataka tuulize, tafadhali, wale wachasusi, kwa sababu mtu ambaye angepiga risasi 5 kwa mpigo na askari aliye ndani ya gari asirudisha hata moja, lazima tujiulize nini.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to focus on that bit because the DCI realized that the statement from the driver, the statement from the bodyguard did not match. Now, before we get further on this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, please support this channel by liking this video to enable you to share it to other people. Also subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed before. And to our existing subscribers, I want to continue thanking you so much, because without you, this channel wouldn't have grown. So the big question here, ladies and gentlemen, is where did ONG'ONDO's bodyguard fail? He is the bodyguard, but where did he fail? Now, in my layman's view, you know, I'm not a security expert, but in my layman's view, ONG'ONDO's bodyguard should have moved with speed after the first bullet was fired, when they were still at a traffic jam in Nairobi. Remember, all this time they were in a traffic jam. So if he was the bodyguard, see, I'm saying I'm a layman, so I'm just interpreting this whole situation as a layman. So the whole time when the car was there and he's the bodyguard, he should have been a bit agitated, trying to scan around for any possible threat, trying to arm himself in readiness for any eventuality. If I was the bodyguard, I was Ongondowere's bodyguard, and I wanted to protect Ongondowere, I would have been scanning the area, looking around, dropping the windows, trying to look at if there is any possible threat around, and my hand or my fingers on the trigger. That is what I would have done, ladies and gentlemen. If that would have been the case, I don't think this shooter would have shot more than 2 bullets. Maybe he would have tried to harm Ongondowere by probably dropping his first, or rather releasing his first bullet on Ongondowere, but the subsequent bullets would have been unleashed after mimi mwenyewe kama bodyguard nisha rusha risasi zangu kama 3 kwa huyu assailant, because he's not someone who you should warn. Someone just approaches you and starts shooting, sio mtu anaambia kwamba hands up. That is someone that you start spraying bullets on him. So I think where Ongondowere's bodyguard failed, mimi naona kama ni hapo. Let me take you to a movie, probably get to understand some things about other bodyguards. This is a movie, but this is how bodyguards should be. Like, for instance, if one person who likes to watch movies, then there was a movie by the title The Bodyguard, one that Jet Li starred. In that movie, Jet Li played a critical role on how a bodyguard should behave. A bodyguard inatakana the end result of being a good bodyguard ni kwamba you have protected your client for the period you've been assigned to that client. Any threat ambayo imetokea, you've probably neutralized. So in this movie, the bodyguard, Jet Li played a critical role in protecting his his client with everything he had, in fact, with his life. See, that's being a true bodyguard. Let me also take you to a story of Traore. You all remember the story of Ibrahim Traore, One of his bodyguard gave an account of how there was an attempted bribe on him. Around $5 million were promised to this bodyguard so that he could take the life of Traore. And he said, this is what he said: they offered me $5 million to shoot Ibrahim Traore from behind, especially when he bent to pray to Allah. They even promised my family and me citizenship in their country. They called it an offer I could not refuse. To them, money matters more than humanity. But I ask myself, is $5 million worth carrying a guilt conscience to my grave? Will that money make me a king in a foreign land, or a fool mocked by their sons and daughters? I'd rather live as a lion in the wild than a dog in the city. That is what Ibrahim Traore's bodyguard. So that is a bodyguard who wants to protect his client at all cost. So looking at that example of Ibrahim Traore's bodyguard, and this example of Ongondowere's bodyguard, would you say that Ongondowere's bodyguard did the best he could to protect his client? Personally, I think the DCI will close in on this story, and there are leads, because we are aware about the 4 suspects. Now we are aware about these 2 are believed to be accomplices because of their differing statements. So we are aware about so much regarding this story. But the bottom line here is that the driver and the bodyguard, both of them are arrested as it stands now. Arrested simply because when they were separately interrogated, their statements ziligongana. They were not on the same par on how the whole situation occurred. So statement ziligongana. That is exactly what happened, ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like to rest my case there, but just go below in the comment section and tell us what you think about DCI's move to arrest the bodyguard and to arrest the driver, put them in custody, because of their statements, conflicting statements. So perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Till you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.